How to build an automatic moss farm in Minecraft. These are resources you will need for this farm. Okay guys, so before we get started on this, I'm going to say that you're going to need about a 13 by 11 block area for this farm, and that is pretty much it. So to get started, simply build 3 blocks going upwards, and it's very important to say that these blocks need to be blocks that cannot be turned into moss. So basically any type of block that cannot be turned into moss. So build 3 blocks going upwards, simply that, 1, 2, 3. Then build 7 glass blocks to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then place 7 pistons on top of each of these glass blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then you can simply destroy these blocks we placed earlier on the right side, like this. So then simply place a glass block or any type of block on both the left side and right side of the pistons right here, and then place a row of normal blocks or anything like that on the back side of the pistons, just like this. Then simply build one more row of glass blocks under here, build or place one more block on both the left side right here and the right side right here. Then place 7 glass blocks on top of each piston, just like this. Then simply build up one more glass block right here and here. So what you're going to need to do now is water block all of these pistons. So if you are a little bit far away from the water, I would recommend you make an infinity water source, but simply water block all of these. And as you're doing this, the water will flow to the bottom right here, which means if you have any redstone in the area or whatever, I would recommend that you simply just place some temporary blocks in front of here or just cover this up. But yeah. Okay guys, so what you want to do now is place a row of normal blocks right here above kind of where the water is running out. Then in front of here place 7 dispensers going kind of away from each of these blocks, just like this. Then simply head on top of here and mine out all these temporarily blocks we placed, and then place a lava source in each corner. Now I'm gonna fill up the rest of these sources, but you see, you don't need to do that, but I like to do it just because, well, why not? But you can simply, survive with just having 2 sources of lava. But what should happen now is that these blocks should be turned into cobblestone, sorry, normal stone, and that is basically how this farm will work. So what we're going to need to do now is basically build a hopper clock system. So simply head behind here, and on this 3rd glass block right here from the left, place a normal block just like this. Then place a hopper facing into this block, then simply destroy this block and place a hopper going back into the other hopper. So now we should have 2 hoppers going into each other just like this. So what you will need to do now is place 2 comparators going out from each of these hoppers. So one on the left side just like this, and then one on the right side. Then simply place a block in front of this comparator, do some on this side just like this. Then grab your pistons and place a piston going out from the redstone just like this. Do the same on this side just like that. Then simply place a redstone block on the left side of the piston right here, or kind of in the front of the left piston. Then on the right piston right here, place a lever just like this, and then simply place a lever on top of this right sided piston. So simply turn this on. So simply go on the left hopper right here, and then place a observer going out from that hopper with the little red eye looking outwards. Then simply place a temporary block right here, 1 block going outwards, destroy the temporary block, and then place a redstone dust on top of this block. Then place another redstone dust under here, and then just fill in kind of this line with redstone or these 7 blocks. Okay guys, so after you've done this, you should have something looking like this, and what you will need to do now is head into one of these hoppers and then place 5 blocks into it. Now these blocks will be kind of traveling back and forth, or basically until the other one, and now this kind of thing, or basically when the 5 blocks are inside of here, this comparator should basically have the little lights on just like this. Okay guys, so what you're going to need to do now is flick this lever, and when you do that, the more kind of stone should be created forward, and basically what you will need to do is create 8 more kind of rows of stone going outwards. So basically just have 9 rows of stone at the end, but I'm going to show you this now. So simply flick this on, and as you do that, more stone will be created and then pushed outwards. So simply wait for 7 more stone to be kind of out from here, sorry 8, so together we should have 9 rows of stone. Okay, hold on, I'm quickly going to pause this. I think we have enough stone now, so I just pause this and let's count it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9. So simply destroy these last 2 rows. So all together right here in front of these dispensers, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of stone, but together with the ones that are under and in front of the piston, you should have 9. Then what you will now need to do is place a row of obsidian in front of here. Now this obsidian will basically prevent more stone from going forward. Okay guys, so what you will now need to do is place 7 leaves in front of each of these dispensers. So after you've done that, what you now will need to do is place a row of glass going all around this farm beside the end of the obsidian right here. So simply place them at the leaves and then go around there. You can also place them next to the dispensers, really doesn't matter, but just do this. Then make this kind of glass wall 2 blocks high. Again, this doesn't need to be glass, this can be normal blocks or any type of block that cannot be turned into moss, but basically just do that. Now then also make sure to place glass kind of right next to the stone right here, just to prevent stuff from accidentally glitching out of the farm or anything like that. Just a security kind of thing. Also, you don't need to have the glass next to the obsidian, we can simply destroy that for now. So what you will now need to do is head under here and place solid blocks all under this farm. This is not fully necessary, but I like to do this just so blocks doesn't glitch out of the farm, and you know, so they don't kind of glitch under, because that will obviously reduce spawn rates in this farm, or you know, block rate or moss rate or whatever. So simply do that just as a security measure, and yeah. Now you can even place them under obsidian just like this. Okay guys, what you will now need to do is head up here to the dispensers and simply fill in each of the dispensers with 1 bucket of water, just like this. So simply make sure each dispenser has a water bucket. And there. Okay guys, what we will now need to do is make sure that these dispensers can kind of dispense out the water on and off. So what we will need to do is place a block in front of kind of the piston on the right side, that's under the redstone block. Then grab a repeater and stand on top of the redstone block and then place it facing outwards. Now this should also be turned on. Then place an observer going outwards from this repeater with the little eye looking outwards and the little face looking towards the repeater. Then place a redstone dust on top of this kind of leaf block right here, that's 1 block out and kind of under this observer. Then simply place a redstone dust right here, then place more redstone dust kind of on top of all of these dispensers, just like this here too. Now what you will now need to do after you placed all the redstone here is tap on this repeater kind of 2 ticks, and after you've done that, the water should flow out all the way into the obsidian. Okay guys, so what I would also quickly recommend you do now is just place 6 more glass blocks here, because soon we will be building the collecting system, and that will obviously prevent, you know, moss blocks from accidentally gliding out to the side, which is pretty good. So now what you will need to do is head into the middle right here. Place a temporary block on the middle block of the obsidian right here. Then place 3 more blocks going inwards, 1, 2, 3. Then place 3 more temporary blocks on top of this block right here. So 1, 2, 3. So now it should be a total of 4 blocks above the kind of stone right here. Then on the 5th block on top of here, place a moss block just like that. Now I will quickly say it's very important that you have this in the correct space, because if you have this higher up, the moss block will not affect this stone right here, which means that this stone will not be turned into moss, which also means that the farm won't work. So it's very important that moss block is exactly 5 blocks above the kind of stone right here, or basically on the 5th block above it. So now what you can do is destroy all these blocks we placed under just like this. Okay guys, so what we will now need to do is head behind this moss block, place 2 blocks behind right here, destroy the first block, then place a dispenser looking into this moss block, then simply destroy this last block, and you can make sure that this dispenser is facing the right way if you can't see the little eye right here anywhere else. And what you can do is simply replace this block we destroyed, build 2 more blocks going upwards just like that, then place a dropper facing into the dispenser we placed just like this. Make sure the eye is nowhere else, make sure this is going into the dispenser, that is very important. So now what you will need to do is place a hopper going into the dropper, that's very important too. Then you can simply destroy these blocks we placed behind her. Then what you will need to do is place a solid block on the right side of the dispenser right here just like that, and then place a redstone dust on top of that block. Okay guys, what you will now need to do is place the observer that's facing kind of downwards towards the redstone. Now if you aren't able to do this, what you might need to do is simply place a block right here that will make it easier, but if you go low enough down, you should be able to place this pretty easily. And basically what you should have now is the little redstone eye looking towards the redstone and the little face looking upwards towards the sky. What you will now need to do is place a redstone lamp on top of this block right here with a normal block or a solid block on top of the observer. Sorry, I mean piston, hopper, I mean. So basically what you should have now is something looking like this. What you will now need to do is in front of this observer place a normal solid block with a redstone dust on top of it. Then on top of the block that's on top of the hopper, place a piston facing downwards just like that. Okay guys, what you will need to do now is right kind of next to this or in front of this observer, place a normal block or a solid block with a redstone dust on top of it. Then right next to the block we just placed, place a piston kind of going downwards towards the moss just like that. So what you will now need to do is head back up here, destroy this block we placed, and then on top of the hopper place a redstone repeater going into this redstone lamp. Then behind this redstone repeater, place a block just like this, and then grab a dropper and place a dropper kind of facing towards the redstone lamp and the repeater right here. Okay guys, so what you will now need to do is place a temporarily block right here, then place any type of staircase kind of facing into the piston, sorry, the dropper, just like this. Now it's very important you do it this way because whatever we will be placing inside this dropper will be kind of, you know, sent out and hit the staircase. Then the items will be pushed straight down into this hopper, which will then send them into this dropper, which will then, you know, further send them into this dispenser. Now it's very important that you do it this way and that you do everything correctly. And okay guys, so after you've done this, you are pretty much done with kind of the moss system, or basically what will be fueling the moss. So all you will now need to do is place a hopper going into this dropper, and then place a double chest or single chest, whatever, on top of here. Now this chest is basically where we will be placing in all the bone meal that we will use for this farm. Okay guys, so after you've done this, what you will now need to do is head back down here, and right next to the block with the redstone repeater and observer, place a block right here and then another block right here. Then place 2 redstone dusts on top of each of these blocks. Then after you've done that, place 2 glass blocks on top of here with more redstone on top of them. Do that once more, then 2 redstone dusts. Okay guys, now what you will need to do is either grab any type of solid block, glass block, or even just slabs, and then on the right side of this little glass redstone tower we just built, simply place 1 slab going outward or block, and then simply just place 3 more kind of slabs going into this bottom block right here. Now this little thing with this build should be kind of going in towards the block that's under the dropper that we just placed. Then simply place redstone dust going into that block. Okay guys, now what you will need to do is simply fill up this with some bone meal. You can fill up this with however much bone meal you need, and basically that bone meal will be dispensed or sent into this dropper. You can also simply just place it straight into the dropper. That's fully up to you, but you know, whatever works. Okay guys, so after you placed your bone meal inside this chest or inside this dropper, what we're going to do now, well, the farm is pretty much done now, but what I'm quickly going to do is make the collecting system. So I'm just going to place a simple double chest right here, and then just place 3 hoppers going out from each of these hoppers. Now I want to say that I would definitely recommend you have more chests, and that you have 2 chests, for example, like this on top of each other, and then just simply hoppers going kind of behind them into the chest. But that is fully up to you however you do this. But this farm produces a lot of moss and stuff like that every hour, even just every 10 minutes. I would recommend you have more storage. But what you will now need to do to get started on this farm, or basically you start it up, is flick this lever, and as you see, the farm will start. Boom. Now it might take a few seconds before it starts because the bone meal has to be dispensed into this dispenser, but as you see, this is working very greatly. Now every once in a while the water will stop flowing, and you know, some of the moss carpets and, you know, leaves or whatever will get stuck on top of this last row of obsidian. But every time the water goes out again, the moss will be pushed into this bottom chest right there, into the hoppers, and this is pretty much how it works. So as long as you have moss in the farm will work. So yeah guys, this is pretty much it. And as I am talking, you can see that I've already gotten over a stack of moss in just half a minute I've spent talking now. This farm is honestly insane. In my world, I've filled up over 20 double chests full of moss and stuff like that from standing AFK for a few hours. It's honestly insane guys. So if you need moss and stuff like that, I would definitely recommend you make this farm. You can also turn this into a bone meal farm very easily. So yeah guys, that is pretty much it. If you have any questions about this farm or how this farm works, feel free to comment them and I'll answer them right away. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. And also to quickly say, to turn this farm off, simply just flick this lever and the farm will be turned off. And yeah, so that is it. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.